Hi guys, welcome back to a brand new piercing reaction video. Oh my gosh, okay guys, hello. So today it is time for you to shine, girls. And today we're going to be reading out some of your own personal horror stories. I absolutely love doing these videos. So if you have happened to leave a horror story and it's not in this video and you haven't been in a video yet, please comment down below your horror stories and maybe you'll get into the next one. And of course, you're more than welcome to repost the same story if you haven't already been in a video. So don't worry about reposting the same thing. You can still do it down below. So thank you to everyone who has sent me all of their stories. I went to the previous video and I'm going to read through the comments. And I've also have a horror story that has me so unbelievably shook that I'll be reading towards the end of this video. Anyway, guys, let's not be around the bush and get straight onto your horror stories. I have a piercing horror story. I'm a daycare teacher. Oh, I forgot that I'm a daycare teacher. When you want piercing horror stories, one of the first things you hear is, I'm a daycare teacher. You know it ain't gonna end well, girls. I'm a daycare teacher and I have my ears pierced, and so did the teacher that helped me in the classroom. Since the daycare was understaffed at the time, it was a new daycare. Some of the teachers were moved around. My assistant and I were moved to a toddler room. You can probably see where this is going. No. While doing reading time, one of the children, a little girl, came over and tried to grab my piercing. I told her no, and at the time my assistant yelled in pain. One of the children had walked over to her and pulled out her industrial piercing. What? The whole bar was in the child's hand while my teacher was bleeding. I put the child... For a second then, I thought I'd put the child down. Isn't like you're going to be put down by the dentist? The vet. I put the child I had down and immediately helped her to stop the bleeding and move the children to another room. We had to completely disinfect the classroom and disinfect the toys as well. She didn't come back to work for a few days and we learned not to wear piercings while being in daycare, while being a daycare teacher. Oh my God. Yeah, daycare teaching and piercings are probably the best thing. I think if the kids are slightly older, obviously it's fine, but like when they're like toddler age, whenever I go to visit my niece and nephew, they're 4 years old at the moment. Even they're quite grabby. They don't pull. They're quite good if you say don't pull. Like they might touch my ears sometimes. Obviously, I don't go like, you can touch me if you want. I would generally just say, oh, can you not touch my ears? But sometimes if they ever do, like they're quite gentle. That must have hurt so much having your entire industrial bar like ripped out. No go, no go. One of my friends is heavily into goth culture, and to her, a part of being a goth was she couldn't get any piercings done professionally. What? When has that ever been part of goth culture? Is that a thing? I mean, I'm not necessarily part of the part of the world myself, but like, that's not a thing, is it? Surely that's not a thing. That's not a thing. So one day she made a decision to pierce her own septum with a safety pin and wore the safety pin as jewelry. Oh, for God's sake. She thought it looked all punk and cool until one day we were in class and she went to blow her nose, forgetting the piercing was in there. Oh my God. This ain't gonna end well, girl. It fell out since the safety pin wasn't big enough to be fully closed, and almost instantly blood and pus started spewing everywhere. I had to help her to the infirmary and her mum had to pick her up. Totally not okay. I knew it would be infected from the moment I saw the safety pin in her nose. Oh my God. I still don't understand what this is about goth culture, and like part of goth culture is not being able to get professional piercings and you have to do them yourself. I've literally never heard that. I've never heard that. Kaya, I'm looking at you. Is that a thing? I love you, Kaya. Tell me what happens, girl. And also, children, repeat after me. Safety pins are not jewelry. I can hear you, girls. Come on. Safety pins are not jewelry. I have a story. So 5 months ago, I went to get my Medusa piercing and everything was healing right. So I thought one day my 3-year-old son was walking around and I bent down to kiss him on the top of his head and he decided to jump right up at the moment. Oh no, wacky bang woman, and horribly bumped my piercing with his head. It swelled so badly, it looked like I had a lip injection. We love a free Juvederm moment. And ever since then, I've been battling it, getting infected over and over with pustules. That's disgusting. Just when I thought I'm cleared, then it keeps coming back, but I'm stubborn. I refuse to take it out. I can relate to that, girl. Stubbornness, yes, bitch. It's really annoying how like a piercing can be absolutely perfectly fine, and just like the tiniest knock, even just a small knock. I know you got whacked in the face, but even just the tiniest knock can like revert the healing process all the way back to the beginning. And like the thing is what people don't realize is when you knock it, you think, oh, it's just a knock, but it can cause like micro tears in your tissue, in your cartilage, wherever you've got it done, and that can like take ages to heal and like ages to actually like sort out, because even then just like a little tiny knock that you might bash it and it might not even hurt can like reopen those little gashes. It's not nice. My forward helix piercing here, I knocked it a little while ago, and ever since I've done that, it just won't calm down, and it's so frustrating no matter what I do. But again, I'm like you, I'm quite stubborn with my piercings, because I know how to heal them and stuff, and I know what to do. I'm like, I will not take it out because I know how to handle this. A couple years ago, I bought some nickel earrings, knowing that my ears would not be able to handle them. If I wear anything but sterling silver on my ears, they will get infected. So you bought piercings knowing that you were allergic to them? Make it make sense. I figured it would be all right as long as I only wore them for a few hours at a time. No go, that's not how it works. And that was my plan. That doesn't work. If you're allergic to something, you can't be like, I'm just going to expose myself a tiny bit and then run away. No, that's not how it works, girl. I ended up deciding that it would be all right to leave them in for a few days because my ears weren't bothering me at all. I ended up leaving them in for a few weeks. For God's sake, after a while, they started getting irritated, but I still left them in for a couple of weeks. Why? Listen to your body. Listen to your body. If it's starting to show signs, do not be like, oh, it'll be fine. Listen to your body. One night I decided I would take them out because they were hurting, and even the lightest touch, to my surprise, my ear ended up completely swallowing the back of the earring. I was able to get the earring itself out pretty quickly, but I spent 30 minutes trying to push the back out. It was so painful. I eventually was able to push it out through from the front of the piercing, and when it came with a sticky white ball of pus, I cleaned the piercing thoroughly, and when I went to throw out the Q-tip away, I noticed the ball of pus had shriveled up and turned black in a matter of minutes. After seeing that, I was so glad I took the earring out when I did. It ended up healing fine, but now I'm left with a stretched piercing. Needless to say, I will never wear nickel earrings again. Yeah, guys, this is disgusting. Like, if your body is allergic to something, do not put yourself through that thing just because you think you're going to be okay. This person probably didn't think they would leave it in for weeks, but then they get lazy, and then you would think you were fine or whatever, and you're like, oh, another day won't hurt, another day won't hurt, and before you know it, your ear is swollen, disgusting, and now pus is coming out your ear because you just couldn't bother to take it out. I got my lip pierced at a hair salon. Not my fault, my parents' fault. I was young and didn't know anything about piercings. It was awful. I was 11. And you were 11? Can we not pierce 11-year-olds' lips, please? Like, 11-year-olds, I'm sorry, but I don't think 11-year-olds should be having lip piercings. Half me, though, is like, oh, your parents are cool to allow you to do that kind of stuff. So, I mean, there are plus there, but 11-year-olds should not be getting lip piercings, girls. It was awful. I was 11, and they pierced it way too low. I told them I didn't like the placement, and they said it will move up as you age. Oh, can you imagine saying no? That's a reason why you shouldn't get it done, because it will move. So they wouldn't redo it. And now I have a very large scar down by my hecking chin. Later that year, I went back to get my other side pierced. Stupid on my part. You went to the same place? What are you doing? But I really wanted snake bites. They were again pierced too low. No, they were never marked, either of them. And let me check to see if it wasn't any good. Why they didn't even like let you check where it was? Like, what? I mean, it's a hair salon. I don't know why I'm getting confused. I think it's an old thing, and maybe it's like a older thing now to get piercings at hair salons and stuff. But like, your hair salon should not be doing body piercings. My piercing horror story isn't the worst, but it was long and tedious. So I got cocky with my bar and changed it out on its 6th week of healing. Why are you changing your piercing at 6 weeks? Do not change your piercings at 6 weeks. It is not ready to be changed in 6 weeks. In fairness, that was the stated time. Who told you that? So I changed it out for a horseshoe barbell with a Claire's ball on the back. It was pretty and sparkly. So fast forward about 5 weeks and it gets so uncomfortable and crusty and bumped, and I decided to take it out. Turns out the ball from Claire's had been rotting. What? The ball from Claire's been rotting away to the point my ear wasn't even healing. It was actually regressing. So when I took said barbell out, my ear instantly sealed back up. I'm still fairly sure there's a gem lodged in my ear. For now, I'll stick to the double, I think. It rotted? What? So I'm a tiny bit confused. So you changed your piercing after 6 weeks into a horseshoe bar, but one of the balls on the end was like something from Claire's.
Fabulous place to buy jewelry.
And then it rotted away in your ear? Guys, please just don't go to Claire's. Don't go to them. Don't buy anything from Claire. Don't. Just stay clear. No, wow. You want to go to Claire's and buy bangles or something fine, something around the wrist, maybe some makeup. I was going to say some makeup, but wasn't there like wasn't there like asbestos in some makeup in Claire's? Like Jojo Siwa's makeup was in Claire's. Like, wasn't there got like asbestos in it? Don't buy makeup from Claire's. Just, if you want to go buy some bangles or something, fine. But like, just don't buy earrings and stuff, and don't get your earrings done at jewelry. Don't get your earrings, I can't even speak. My words aren't even coming out right. Don't buy jewelry from Claire's. Don't get ears pierced at Claire's. So it was last year, me and my girlfriend both had lip piercings. God, you can guess where this is going. Oh my God, you're just going to get like entwined with each other, isn't it? I have a vertical and she has snake bites with rings in. Oh, for God's sake. When we had our first kiss, something went wrong and somehow our piercings got tangled. We didn't realize it at first and accidentally her ring got pulled a little. Oh my God, that was hurt. She was bleeding a little bit. She took care of it and it healed fine. We're still together and laugh about this to this day. You can imagine it was so embarrassing. Anyway, love your videos. You're amazing, beautiful human. Thank you. Love you. The idea that you've got piercings and they get entangled with each other is just like absolutely horrendous. And luckily that you didn't pull it too hard because that would have hurt so much. The horror story I experienced, I used to do competitive trampolining. Oh, for God's sake. I already know what you're going to say. An earring I got caught in the trampoline as you came back down in like the fabric or fibers or something and it ripped out. So I used to do competitive trampolining and we use those Olympic quality trampolines that are woven. At practice, we're supposed to wear tight clothing to increase aerodynamics wherever. But one guy I trained with turns up one day with not only a loose t-shirt, but also a fresh belly button piercing without my coach's knowledge, without my coach noticing. When she went to do her routine, she had to land on her stomach, and as part of it, unfortunately, her shirt rode up and her belly button piercing got stuck in between the gaps in the trampoline, ripped. Oh my God. So she kept on it, ripped it out. It was awful, blood went all over the place, and she was an enormous amount of pain. Absolutely disgusting. Now, if you've been watching me for a while, you know that when I got my belly button pierced, it was actually one of my like most painful piercings. I think it was like number 5. So the idea of like that being ripped out and like your belly button, like the top of your belly button being like completely ripped open is just absolutely disgusting. Can you imagine? That would have hurt so much. I feel like it's her fault, but also I do feel sorry for her. Like, that is awful. Like, I would never want anyone to have to go through that pain. So now this next story is something incredibly shocking that when I first read this, I was just like, what are you actually doing? It was sent to me countless times on Twitter. So this isn't necessarily like a viewer's suggestion. This was actually part of Reddit, and it's part of a Reddit thread called "Am I the Arsehole?" where basically people write in saying like, I was in this situation, I got into like a altercation with someone, I annoyed someone. Am I the arsehole for doing what I did? So this was a piercing story posted to that Reddit. So the title was called, "Am I the arsehole for telling my roommate that she couldn't clean her piercings with pasta water?" Trust me, I'm confused as heck to what went on, but me, 22 female, and my roommate Becca, 23 female, had a major argument. Becca got a piercing that got infected/irritated, and after going to the doctor, was told to clean it with saline solution, which you should do. All well and good, right? Saline is just salt and boiled water. Cool, fabulous. But Becca wanted to save money after the doctors and not make up the saline and waste water, so she's been using her leftover pasta water to clean her piercing because that's basically salt and water. As soon as I found this out, I told her that it's disgusting and probably why her piercing is still infected. Instead, she called me out for judging her for being thrifty. And that's sorry, I can't. Imagine calling yourself thrifty because you washed your piercing with used pasta water. Disgusting. So she called me out for judging her for being thrifty and that not everyone's made out of money. She's refusing to speak to me until I apologize for implying she's poor, but I'm fed up of hearing about her sore nipple if she's just going to slather it with pasta water. I just want to know if I'm the arsehole and overreacting for refusing to apologize. I'm not a piercer, so maybe this is actually common practice and I'm dumb. You are not dumb, Gail. This is the reason why I get horror stories and videos of people piercing themselves, because they're so stupid. How could you ever think that washing your ears with water that you've cooked pasta in was ever going to be okay? Saline solution is not expensive. This isn't shaming someone for being poor. Like, saline solution is not expensive. Do you know what time was really expensive? Especially if you're in America. doctor surgeries and things when you've had to get your stuff removed because it's swollen up so gross because you've used pasta water to clean your piercings. That's where the cost is. If you cannot afford your upkeep of piercings, like if you can't afford the saline solution, you do not get piercings. You can quite easily make your own salt water as well. I mean, when you do your own salt water, you have to be very careful because a lot of people use way too much salt and burn the skin. This isn't a thrifty thing. There are some things you should not be trying to find like cheaper alternatives to, and body modification is not something you should be finding cheaper alternatives to. And someone coming up to you and saying, maybe you don't use pasta water, is not offensive. It's not them coming for you. It's not them being classist or having a thing, judging you for being poor. Wow. I've done a lot of these videos, and that's probably one of the most shocking things I've ever heard. It's not really that gruesome, and it's not really that sort of like, you know, disgusting, but it's just so insane to me that someone would do this. Well, guys, I'm well and truly on the trigger train, speeding down the railway, about to crash over a cliff and plunge to my death. Bye, bish. Choo-choo. If you'd like to get a Trigger Train t-shirt, and there's pillows as well and stuff, there's a link down below to my merchandise. Maybe get some merch, girls. If you're still watching the video now, comment down below, pasta water, ew. So I know. Of course, guys, please hit the like button because that's really helped me out. Share with your friends and all that good kind of stuff. Lots of love to you all. I can't believe that happened. Also, again, comment down below your horror stories. If you've got a horror story, please comment down below. And next month's one, you can possibly be in the next video. Oh my god, pasta water, disgusting. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos coming up. A massive shout out to my gorgeous patrons whose names you can see on the screen here. Thank you for being a patron. You guys are incredible. And a massive shout out to my extra top tier Patreons. Alia Riguez, Alicia Marie, Austin Filden, Booster Shot 93, Brenna, Cassie Hill, Catbot Human, Chill Herman, Christopher John, Robbie, Corin Pemberton, Dimitri Settle, Heather Marie, Hero of the Sprites, James Burgess, Joynia Price, Caitlin Wright, Katsugi Bikago, Kat L, Kelly Bowser, Kelly P, Chloe Louise, Megan Holly, Magusa Lagoose, Moragani Wolf, Samuel Patterson, Steffi Tech, Suzmac, and Von Mealy. Thank you so much for being a patron, guys. You are incredible. I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. You are amazing. There's a link down below if you want to become a patron and support the channel. And as always, guys, be fast, amazing, be gay, be everything you want to be. And don't let any bitch ever tell you that you can't be you. Why is that? Because you are flawless. Pasta water.